Hello and welcome to Eye on Western Cape. I'm Thomas Marie, and this week we come to you from the World Economic Forum. The theme of this year's gathering is delivering on Africa's promise, and the past 3 days have seen ministers, heads of state and business leaders convening in the mother city for discussions around the topic. We kick off this program with Western Cape Premier Helen Zille at the World Economic Forum.
With me now is Western Cape Premier Helen Zille, obviously also leader of the DA. Helen, Premier, always a pleasure. Let's just start with your view of the forum and what you've experienced over the last couple of days.
Well, it's been so uplifting for me because I see Africa emerging as a continent with confidence, with a vision for the future, and that is being taken seriously by the rest of the world as the next Asia. Many people have said that this reminds them of Asia 25 years ago. So a great future here. It's been wonderful generally for South Africa, for Cape Town specifically, but for me personally, I've learned so much here about agriculture, about information technologies, about all the new ideas, about public-private partnerships, about all the international energy that is pouring into Africa, about government's role to provide the infrastructure and the enabling frameworks and the public-private partnerships. Wow, I've learned a lot.
You mentioned infrastructure, and it is a theme repeatedly at the World Economic Forum. Do you think we're starting to see moving to delivering on Africa's promise, the fact that infrastructure is starting to come together on the continent? Do you get that feeling?
I certainly get the feeling that people are taking it much more seriously than they used to. Transport infrastructure, our harbours and ports of entry generally, in fact technology, critical broadband as a base infrastructure for the development of this continent. All of these things are being taken seriously. Government's role is to get the infrastructure out there in public-private partnerships wherever we can, and to ensure that there's an enabling framework that empowers individuals to get on with it. And I've learned that in every single field here today. So it's been a magnificent experience for me to understand the role of government in realizing Africa's potential.
Premier, earlier you mentioned agriculture. It's also a big theme, and 2014 is the year of agriculture and food security. Do you think we're going to see huge inroads being made on this very exciting sector of the economy?
Well, what I realized here, actually by following CNBC Africa on Twitter, was just exactly how crucial agriculture is in the future. We always think that our minerals under the ground are our gold and our future. Of course, what comes out of the ground is the future food security, our future exports, the beneficiation of those in all kinds of different ways. That is the huge untapped potential. 60% of the world's best untapped agricultural land is on this continent. What kind of opportunity does this open for us? Magnificent. And so I'm really excited about the future.
And the Western Cape's contribution to agriculture down the line, can you force that agenda?
Well, the Western Cape's contribution is crucial. We are a very great exporter of food. We're self-sufficient in food in the Western Cape and just in South Africa. And the future of beneficiation, of value-added products, of going through the value chain is something that we haven't yet explored sufficiently in agriculture. So what a great potential to create jobs, to improve jobs through the beneficiation and technological processes of upskilling. What a great future. It can only get rosy.
Earlier in the conversation you mentioned private-public partnerships. This is a great environment to establish those relationships. Are you forging ahead with a couple of PPPs?
Yes, we absolutely are in many areas, but the big one that I'm profoundly interested in is broadband. The government has a role to play. I'm trying to work out exactly what that role is. Previously, I did think that the government's role in rolling out broadband was to inaccessible areas where the private sector can't do it profitably. But even today, I heard from British Telecoms that's very excited about South Africa's broadband potential. Just how you can make public-private partnerships work even in inaccessible parts of the country. So I don't want the government to go blundering in and